Hello and welcome to CIS 61. This is the first level C++ programming course at Shasta College. If you decide to continue on to the next course, our second level C++ class is CIS 65. So I realized we're getting ahead of ourselves already, but I just wanted to mention that. So anyway, so welcome to the course. My name is Jeff. I'll be your instructor for this. If you've had me in another class, welcome back. You must be a little bit crazy. I don't know, but I enjoy doing this, and I think you'll find in the videos. My wife makes fun of me because I laugh at my own jokes when I'm recording videos, and she's like, "There's no one even in there with you," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's funny." So anyway, so I'm a little bit nuts, but that's all right. But let's talk about a few things. We're not going to go over the whole syllabus. I just want to talk about a few things. The book, kind of what to expect here in Canvas. We'll look at that. This is the syllabus, so our first day handout, I guess college calls it, and then you're obviously got to the welcome video because you're watching it. So let's talk about a few things. First, and probably the most important thing is how to get a hold of me. So this is my email address at the college. But I would prefer, I'm going to go make this window active, and you'll see in here in Canvas, if you've not used this before, on the green side, there is this wonderful little thing called inbox. So you want to use the inbox to get a hold of me. You can use my email address directly, but our mail marshal service sometimes will filter out from emails, and I may never see it. So unless you send me some kind of super weird attachment, our inbox here in Canvas typically is solid, and things won't get filtered out. All right, so we've got that. Also, when you're sending me a message, I typically have 7 to 8 classes a semester. I teach 5 different languages. So there I get a lot of messages from students. So please make sure that in your email message that you don't just send me a message from your Gmail account that says, it's from Big Bunny 45, and I just get this message that says I don't know what to do. I'll have no idea how to respond to that. So please include your name, the language that you're in. I don't care about section number or anything that kind of stuff, but the language that you're using, and if you're coding something, and this will make more sense to you as you get going here in a couple weeks, you're going to want to include a link to your code and the line number or line numbers that you're having an issue with, if you can figure that part out. Okay, so more information is good. So just keep in mind, you'd be surprised how many messages I get during the course of the semester where people are literally just do that. I don't know what to do. I have no idea what class they're in, or if they're even my student, or if it's junk mail. I have no idea. So anyway, so make sure you include that in the messages. And I say that most of the time I really don't get that many messages from students, other than questions about little things or whatever. But you'll find there are a lot of resources for you in Canvas as far as videos and different things to help you along the way. So if you've never coded before, I know we have an advisory here in the syllabus, so that you've taken CIS 2, that you've gotten at least a C or higher on that. If you've not taken CIS 2, that is our Intro to Computer Science course. I'd highly recommend it. It's a great course, but it's essentially a Python programming class. But we do go at a slower pace. Python is a very high level language, meaning that it's really easy to learn how to use. And Python is very powerful, widely used. It's an awesome language. So if you like this class, definitely consider that if you're working your way backwards. If you've already taken it, great. But it's an advisory. It's not a requirement. So you will do just fine in this class if you haven't taken our Python or CIS2 course. Okay, so let's talk about how to get the book. And so there's some information in here. Oh, also, you see this thing in red? Let me mention this too very quickly. Software may not work on a Mac operating system. Here's what I'll say. We don't install any software. Okay, so in the old days, we would install different things, and I don't even need to go on that, but we don't install anything. Everything that we're going to do in this class is cloud-based. So the only thing that I will tell you, I use a MacBook Pro and a Surface Book 3, but for Windows, but I use Mac all the time. I have students use Mac all the time. The only thing I will tell you is if you're using an iPad, if you're using a Mac of any kind, use Google Chrome. So we've had issues with things in my programming lab and some other things where if you're using Safari, there have been some just like issues where things won't work correctly. And so I highly recommend, if you don't have Chrome on your Mac device, download it really easy and use Chrome, because we're 100% with Chrome. I never have issues with Chrome at all with anybody. So anyway, you can use another one too if you want, but Chrome seems to be our default. So anyway, that said, let's talk about the book. Either one of these ISBNs will work. It's the same book. If you go to like Amazon or whatever, we have them in the bookstore on campus. I'm going to show you a digital, not this video. I made a video just for it, so this video wouldn't be, ridiculously long. But there's a video showing you how to get it. I highly recommend the digital version of the textbook. So you can get it. I think it's $98 or $98.95, something like that. It gives you the digital version of the textbook so that you can see it online, and also access to something called My Programming Lab. So My Programming Lab is a site that we will use that has practice assignments for you to be able to use. So you don't have to write an entire program, for example. You just practice writing a single line of code and it checks it for you and makes sure that that's right. So you don't have to write a whole program, and and who knows where you made your error, and you'll learn how to figure that out. But anyway, so we use My Programming Lab. It is a great tool. I love using it. I use it in all my coding classes. So once we get into that, you'll see kind of how it works, and in future videos I talk a little bit more about that. But anyway, you will need a license for that. Now, if you have a textbook you're borrowing from someone else, you are renting a textbook, for example, you can do that. There are places you can do that. If you're renting it, you don't need the ISBN that has the My Programming Lab. But if you do rent it, it's not probably going to come with it anyway. Those are single-use license keys. So don't pay for the extra licensing rental for that. Just if you want to buy just the license for My Programming Lab, it's $50. But you get the ebook for an additional around $48. So I still think that's probably the best way to go. I think Amazon has rentals for this book, the one that doesn't have the My Programming Lab, and they're around $30, $40, somewhere in there. So you could perhaps look at that, but I would highly recommend just going ahead and getting the digital edition of the textbook with My Programming Lab. And there are actually ways for you to see how to do this. I put like little screenshots together in a Word document. Honestly, that's all it is here. And there's also the video instructions that Pearson put together. And what you have to do is you have to, just very simply before you go to the video, you have to buy a license key. Once you have that license key, you use that, and then you'll see in here, when you get in here, there'll be a code in here. You have to have your license key first. So if you buy a brand new print textbook, it comes with like a card inside there, and you tear the little thing off, and it's got the card code on that card, and you'll redeem that, create an account, and then you use this code to actually put you in the class. It's not here now. I'm putting it blanks, but it will be there when you log in. Okay, so anyway, so there's that. There's more on the video stuff from this too, so you'll see that kind of how that works. Now, when we start out, we will be using Python Tutor. And you're like, wait a second, this is a C++ class. Yes, but we are going to use pythontutor.com to do our initial code. And you'll see the programs execute in there. And we're going to use this. This is a tremendous tool. And so it does step by step, and you'll get to see kind of on one side, and this video shows you that, but you'll get to see on one side what your code is, and the other side of the screen in another window, you'll see on that console window, you're going to see like how your code executes. And then down below that, it shows what the computer is seeing behind the scenes, and what it's reading in, how it's storing things. It's a great tool. So we're going to use this off and on. We use it for this first chapter. So, not to worry you with the Python part, but and you'll see in here, there's another little video. I'm going to go down here. Let's see. Writing assignments, how to turn in your programming assignments. This is literally 2 minutes. So make sure you watch that, because I show you how to do get the link done correctly in Python Tutor at pythontutor.com, and get your assignment in there so you don't lose it. Okay. So let's see very quickly. I know I'm just going gangbusters here, but let's see. We have anything else on this page? No. Okay, so that's it for the syllabus. We don't really need to talk about too much more with that. You can, peruse that if you need to put yourself to sleep. You can look at that anytime that you'd like. A few other things that you'll see on here. Food resources. This is a link that the college provides, and there are phone numbers, places to go on campus as well as off, to get food if you need it. So I think this is really important. I include this in every class because it's just a great resource. So if you need food, or you know another Shasta College student that needs food, please give them this resource. So there are a lot of people that want to help. So anyway, so I just mentioned that. I put that in all my classes just because. Okay, I think that's just a really good thing. All right, so purchase instruction video. We talked about this already. You'll see this code. It will appear in here when you log in. We talked about Python Tutor a little bit. Let me talk about the first chapter. So the first chapter, I won't even open this up, but the first chapter is just a simple hardware software thing. You'll see in there, it talks about some basic computer stuff and it goes from there. But our coding starts with chapter 2. Now, you may be looking at this and you're like, what are all of these stinking videos doing in here? All right. So, this is not for every chapter, but chapter 2, I break up into 2 different weeks. And I went through and I made videos for each section. And sometimes, if it was going to be more than 5 minutes, then I broke them up into 2 different sections, 2 different videos just for that one section. But this is to help you get started. And then, like I said, I don't do this for every chapter. But I do this at the beginning because I want people to get a good head start on being able to code and get this done and to not be afraid of this class. It's really not hard. It just takes a little bit of time. And once you see that, you'll I don't know, once you start watching the videos, you get the hang of it. It's not too difficult. So don't wait till the last minute, but it's not too difficult. Oh, let me also mention the PowerPoints that I put in here. So every chapter will have kind of an introduction, and then you'll see a PowerPoint. So for this particular book, not chapter 1, because chapter 1 doesn't have any coding in it, but for all the other chapters, when you look at the PowerPoint, you will see that I've added a ridiculous amount of stuff in these PowerPoints, and that's only to provide you with active resources. So you can go to these PowerPoints. This is not just like a typical thing you get from a publisher where it's just all this stuff and, just the book regurgitating all that stuff. There are a lot of links in this. There are a lot of, you'll see a lot of code pasted in there, but I like to use links. And so you'll see links throughout the chapter that will show you all sorts of different things. You can click on it, go live to a link, live to a web page, and walk through the code, and you'll see it's great. So I really like doing that, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from students that the links and being able to actually see the things work and go step by step, like through pythontutor.com, really helps out a lot. Okay, so then you'll see some other videos in here. Now, some of the videos are from our author. So Tony Gaddis, our textbook author, I include links to his videos as well. So you don't really need any other resources from the textbook at all. So if you buy a brand new book, it gives you like a scratch off code on the inside cover. That's not my programming lab. That's just to give you access to like these videos, things like that. But you don't really need any of that stuff anyway, because I provide all the links to them here, and it will go right to those to the website that has those videos on there. Okay, so I know this is a lot. One thing that if you've not done this in Canvas before, collapsing these. This is a huge thing. So you come over here, click this, and it goes away. So as we finish chapters, do this or you'll be scrolling forever. All right, so I just want to mention that. Okay, so I wanted to keep this under 10 minutes. I'm a little bit long. I'm sorry. Let's see. So anything else? I can't think of right now, but if you have any questions, please let me know. We do get started right away. That's another reason why I recommend that you purchase the digital copy directly through Pearson for the $98, $99, because you have instant access to everything. So we will get started right away. You have your first assignments due from chapter 1 will be due next week. So you've got to, make sure you check the deadlines for those. But while I'm mentioning that too, very important thing as well. Last thing, and then I'll let you go. We have deadlines in the class. So when you see an assignment and it has a deadline, that means on that particular date at 11:59 p.m. that assignment is due. So if you miss that after midnight, don't email me. Like, just, you know what? Things happen. Take your zero, move on. You'll still do okay in the class. Now, I would say don't skip that chapter. Don't skip those assignments. You want to make sure you do the work because things build in here. So you'll need to know how to do them. But if you miss a few assignments, don't email me. And I say that I'm not trying to be rude, but it's not like I don't care. But if I have 8 classes and I get 3 or 4 people a class that miss an assignment or their Wi-Fi router goes down or whatever at the last minute, again, it's not that I don't care, but I don't care. So I know it's terrible. I'm a terrible person, but make the deadline. If you don't make the deadline, that's okay. Oh well, move on. Okay. So if you send me a message the next day and say, hey, I missed the deadline, my Wi-Fi was down, I'm sorry. That's the way it goes. You won't get a response from me from my emails. I can't do 30 of those every day. So every time something's due. So anyway, I know that sounds terrible, but I just wanted to say that now, so that we can avoid that. So anyway, make the deadlines. Don't wait till the last minute. I always post things at least a week early so that you can get started on them. I know people like to wait till the last minute, but please don't do that. You'll find that the sites get busy. All sorts of things happen at 11:30 on the due date. So anyway, that's it. I won't talk about that anymore. I just want to say thank you for being in this class. I think you'll really enjoy it. I know I love this stuff, so I hope you do too. Good luck and have fun.